Ladies and gentlemen, in this one we're going over Gillien. Okay. All right. The best support in the game. You notice I did not say healer. So this is going to be a deep dive into Gillien. We're going to go over her passives. We're going to go over her relics. We're going to go over her gear. We're going to talk about her in depth. And then I'm going to show you some places where you can use her. All right. Let's bring this up. So Gillien, like I said, she is a support hero. And I do stand by the fact that she is the best support, but she's not the best healer. But I'm not saying she's bad at healing. I'm just saying if you want someone with more just healing output, Turin's probably the best pound for pound healer support in the game. What Gillien's main purpose is really for is, or what she excels at, is attack gauge manipulation on both sides of the battlefield. So let's roll into Gillien's passives first. Why? Because her passives carry over to every relic. And you're probably going to have at least 2 relics for Gillien eventually. So passive number 1. And her first passive and her third passive are the most important. So I would recommend that if you dumped a bunch of passive level ups into her really, really early, you could, or I'd say you might want to consider resetting her and at least maxing out her P1. But then it's still RNG because you do want to max out her P3. You see, I got obscenely lucky and I maxed out her P1 and her P3. So take that into mind, or take that into consideration. You may want to. I'll leave it up to you. You may want to reset her and put or max out her first passive before moving on. Why? Because her first passive is 80% chance to trigger when attacking any attack, decreases the attack gauge of 2 random enemies by 30% and inflict effect resistance decrease for 1 turn. So every time she goes, there's no cooldown on this puppy. She has the chance to remove the attack gauge of 2 people, but you have to get this up to level 3. And you see that this is only going to be a 60% chance if you don't have it at level 2. So that's why it's really, really important to max this one out, because then you're going to basically double its effectiveness, because you're going to be hitting more than one person. So that's her P1. Very straightforward, simple, very, very important. This one is definitely good, and you're going to make use of this all over the place in this game. This is really going to come into I really notice it when I'm doing Master of Death, because there's going to be a point in phase 2 where he drops a bunch of debuffs down on your heads, and Gillien is just going to get rid of them. So if he drops like a stun on your Bedivere, gone. Drops a brainwash on somebody, gone. But this passive 2 does have a 6-turn cooldown. You can get it down to 4. I don't seem to really feel the need to upgrade this anymore. When an ally is inflicted with an abnormal status, trigger overhealing for all allies inflicted with abnormal status. So it can go on multiple in the same time. She's going to cleanse them all. So she's going to overheal them. What does that mean? Remove abnormal status, and then it heals them according to the number of abnormal statuses on them. So like stun, brainwash. Okay, there's 2. We don't know the exact math behind that, but that's what overhealing means. And then she's going to give them abnormal status immunity for 2 turns. 2 turns. So very good. If you run into a boss or an encounter that's just spamming you with debuffs, then maybe you want to run Gillien. Now, what is abnormal status? This is what it is. Stun, polymorph, sleep, fear, oblivion, brainwash, confusion, taunt, temptation, bind, silence, steal, turn, freeze. Basically, abnormal status is CC, or crowd control, right? So she's going to cleanse it when it hits, and then give you status immunity for 2 turns, and then it's going to take her 6 turns, unfortunately, to get back around to be doing that. Now, it could be 4, so there's only going to be really 2 turns where you're left vulnerable, but I don't think that it's really worth the cost to get these up anymore. Like, it's going to cost me 40 and 40 to get more, so I'm not giving her anymore. Passive 3, very, very important. 70% chance to trigger when an ally recovers HP. So when she heals, She's got a 70% chance with a 1-turn cooldown if it's maxed. Charge the attack gauge of 2 random allies by 30%. And charge the attack gauge of 2 random allies by 30%. So you see that she's going to do 4 separate instances. Well, 70% chance. 4 separate instances, basically the whole team plus 1. I don't know if she does herself. Just an attack gauge up. So her passive 1 is all about attack gauge, stripping attack gauge on the enemies. Her passive 3 is all about giving attack gauge to her allies. Now, you do got to get it up to level 3, which is why, you know, it's tricky given the RNG nature of passive skill ups. But getting this extra random target on both of these, otherwise it's just 2 random allies, which is good enough, but you're still missing, you know, people are missing out. So that's her passives. Very, very easy, you know, very, very simple, but very effective. There isn't another character as good as Gillien at attack gauge manipulation on both sides of the battlefield, who also heals. So let's look at her relics. She comes in fire. Frost is best. We'll discuss Frost, but Frost is best. You have to basically bank up all of your exchange relic shards, or your relic exchange currency, I should say. You really, really want to be on the lookout for that relic in the whatever it's called, the daily pool. You really, really want to, because it does make her vastly improved. She comes in fire, and you don't technically need the Frost relic. I didn't get it until literally, I think, Wednesday. Like this last Wednesday. So you don't need it to do everything that I completed Forbidden Dungeon 100 with the Fire Relic. So let's look at the Fire Relic. Let's look at her S3, which you're never going to use. Attack 1 enemy 2 times. 70% chance to inflict temptation. It's an attack multiplier, but she's a support. We're just going to ignore that. What does temptation do? Defense cannot target the seducing opponent, so they can't attack her. And their defense is reduced by 5%. Defense down even 5%. That's a big thing in this game. Anybody that can lower the defense it's a very good mechanic. Now, you're never going to be using this ability, though. I shouldn't say never, but I never, ever, ever have her S3 set in my rotation. I always have her S2 and her S1. What does her S2 do? Attack 1 enemy. And remember her P1, when attacking, decrease attack gauge of 2 people, right? So this is an attack. Attack 1 enemy. Deal damage, doesn't matter. 60% chance to reduce the target's attack gauge by 30%. And then her passives 1 is going to proc. And she can possibly reduce more attack gauge and multiple attack gauge, or on multiple characters as well. And then, after all that good stuff, 30% independent chance to heal. Oh, whoa. We want to be doing the fire. Let's disregard that. Disregard that. Attack 1 enemy, damage 14%, 50% chance to reduce the target's attack gauge by 30%, plus her P1, and then heal the lowest ally, or the lowest HP ally, of 16% of Gillien's max HP. So max HP, attack gauge, it's going to kind of dictate the gear. Now, is this important? So on her fire relic, you know, it is kind of nice. It would be nice to max this out, because then you're going to get an attack gauge decrease rate by 5% by 15%. What that means is that's going to be a 65% chance to reduce target's attack gauge, not 45% attack gauge strip. So 50% to 65%, it's not me. I haven't noticed or meaningfully noticed it. And then attack gauge decrease rate 10%. So then it's 40%. So yeah. See how that works? Very, very good. And then S1. She's going to do her S1 a few times given vigor cost rotation. Attack 1 enemy 2 times. So each attack, if you do her S1, has the chance to proc her P1. Heal the ally with the lowest HP, 6.7% of Gillien's max HP. So, is this one important to level up? Yes. Are the other 2 important to level up? No. Now let's discuss her Frost Relic, which I accidentally clicked on earlier. So her S3, which you're also never going to use, attack all enemies 2 times. So it's an AoE. So that's a chance to proc a whole bunch of attack gauge strip. 30% chance each hit to inflict temptation, which is that defense down. Sounds good. You're not going to use it. You're not going to use it. S2, which is the one you're going to spam forever in perpetuity. So attack one enemy, right? Chance to strip some attack gauge, and then 60% chance to reduce target's attack gauge by 30%. So lots and lots and lots and lots of stripping, just like her Fire Relic. But this is where her Frost Relic shines over her Fire Relic. 30% chance, independent chance, so which means for each ally, to heal each ally by 14.3% of her max HP. And then 100% chance to heal the ally with the lowest HP by 14%. So it's basically the same as her fire, except it's now an AoE heal. And remember her P3. When an ally recovers HP, she can give them all attack gauge. So, and that can proc on everybody. So you're just super attack gauge to your whole team, which is why the Frost is so good. And then her P1 or her S1, attack one enemy 2 times. It's basically the same as her Fire Relic. So Frost, vastly superior just because of that S2. Let's briefly touch on her Wind Relic. So it's a little different. So it gives, instead of attacking, right? Because both of these, Frost and Fire, were the same, attack with temptation. Her Wind is now going to give effect accuracy increase, which is good, hit accuracy increase, which is good, and attack speed increase, which is good. And you can increase the number of turns by all of these by leveling it up. Good, but do you want to sacrifice doing this, which is basically a buff only, no action, no healing, no attack gauge disruption, no attack gauge to your team? It sounds good, but I think that you're missing on what makes Gillien really important, and that's her attack gauge manipulation. S2, attack one enemy, so the same as Frost. 50% chance to reduce the target attack gauge by 35%, so a little higher. And then a 40% chance to also inflict temptation, which is nice. And then heal the ally with the lowest HP. So is this S2 better than the Fire's S2? Yes. Fire's S2 was just attack gauge strip, heal. Whereas this one, not that one. Attack gauge strip, heal, and temptation. So Wind S2 is better, but it's not better than Frost. And then her S1 attack, it's exactly the same as everything else. So I would say that you're good with Fire. Fire's going to get you through everything you need her to get you through. But Frost is far superior just based on her AoE heal on her S2. So let's look at her gear real quick. Now, I originally had Gillien decked out in 2 different sets. I had built this like crap, like right when I first got her. I was like, I'm going to build her a heal set. So what is that? Like, look at how bad this is. This is right when I first started playing the game. You don't want to put her in a heal set. You can, but you don't want to. You can, but you shouldn't. How you want to do your Gillien is you want to put her, since she's all about, like I said, attack gauge manipulation before the healing, in my opinion. You really want to give her accuracy and vigor, because you want to be able to spam her S2 over and over and over and over again for that AoE heal if you have the Frost, or her S2 on her Fire. But you also need the accuracy in order to strip the attack gauge off of your enemies. So that's why accuracy is important with Gillien. So you want to put her in a vigor and an accuracy set. Let's see if I got her geared out right. Yes, effect accuracy on the necklace is how you want to go. Defense HP, you pick. Doesn't really matter in my opinion. Obviously, HP is probably better because then her heals are bigger. So you probably want HP there, or HP percentage, I mean. And then you want attack speed on her ring. You want effect accuracy on her belt. I wonder if I have a better one. Ooh, I do. That's a 6-star. Okay, well, we'll level that one up right now. Boom. Okay. Oh, Gillien just got better. Cool. You can tell how long it's been since I looked at that belt. So you want effect accuracy on the belt. And then you want recovery percentage on the orb, in my opinion. Why? Makes her heals bigger, right? Her heals are going to be 30% bigger. And then these ones, obviously you need 2 accuracy, 4 vigor. Her substats, I would say that you probably want to prioritize effect accuracy first. Then I would say attack speed over recovery percentage. And then HP percentage, then HP. That is how I would recommend building Gillien. Why? Because the more she goes, the more she heals, the more she procs her P3. The more she attacks, the more she procs her P1, right? That's going to help you control the fight. The enemy's never going to take a turn when you pair her with Morgan. So, one more time, really quickly, let's just look at what my stats are. 88% effect accuracy. And if we want to look at recovery, nothing great, but 43% increase heal, right? Recovery percentage. So let's see. How do I do? I did really poorly on picking substats. Crit strike damage, crit rate. That's bad. So there's recovery. That's good. HP percentage. That's good. Recovery. HP percentage. Good. HP percentage. Ugh. HP percentage plus 3. Nice. Okay. HP percentage. Effect accuracy. I didn't even look at this. HP, okay, the effect accuracy bump is nice. And then this one's got flat HP, but follow those substats. So, effect accuracy, attack speed, recovery percentage, HP. And if you needed to reference that, the master spreadsheet is linked in the description, and that'll also tell you those gearing priorities. So, that is her passives. That's her relics. That's her gear. Now let's start looking at her chivalries, because that's probably going to mitigate. Yeah, mitigate. That might have added to what I read in her passives. So let's look. Yes, here you go. So her C1, harvest energy. This is her P2. Increase the recovery amount and grants the abnormal status immunity. So if you don't have her C1, you're going to be missing out on the abnormal status immunity for 2 turns, part of her P2 that procs on a 6-turn cooldown when an ally is inflicted with an abnormal status. Recovery percentage, nice. C2 is good. So this one's very, very good. Her C3. So flexible diplomacy hits an additional target. So if you didn't have that, then you see how right here it adds the second line. So it would be attack charge gauge of 1 random ally by 30%, and then you could get that up to 2. But without her, when you get her C3, it adds another 1. So really, you're doing the whole team. You're doing 4 instances of attack gauge up, basically, or adding attack gauge. So C1 is important. It affects her passive. C3 is important. It greatly affects her passives. C4, this is her P1. Inflicts effect resistance decrease for 1 turn. That's not going to make or break anything. You don't have to worry about that. HP percentage, good. Going to heal more. HP percentage, good. Going to heal more. Attack defense, doesn't really matter. Defense, okay. And then her C8. So upon receiving abnormal status, so if she gets an abnormal status, grants Swift Rally for 2 turns. What does that mean? For 2 turns, when an ally is hit, restores HP equal to 10% of target's max HP to all allies except Gillien. And remember, when she heals, every time an ally recovers HP, you proc her P3, which gives attack gauge to everybody. If you have the C3. Does that make sense? That makes sense. So the C8 is also really good. The healing is nice, but it's the attack gauge generation from all those heals That really makes it chef's kiss. And then HP percent, defense percent, good. And then these ones don't matter. Element compatibility plus 5%. Not going to make her break her. So everything up to a C8 on Gillien is great, but you don't need the C8 to really make her go. But I would recommend, like, I'm using her everywhere, and you're going to get the most optimal bang for your buck with Gillien if you have her up to at least C3. I know that's hard. I'm just letting you know how that works. Okay, let's go show you where I use her everywhere. So I don't actually use her in Coliseum. I don't use her in Arena. I run a defense-heavy team. That's not to say, or an offense-heavy team. It's not to say that you can't run Gillien earlier on. It's just when you get up to the higher levels, it's really about going first with Morgan and then smashing. Okay? So you can use her in Arena, but it's not ideal at the higher levels. Might help at the lower levels, though. So Arena, maybe. Dependent. Clan boss, you're definitely going to use her in the clan raids. Yeah, you're definitely going to use her in the clan raids. So, you're not going to use her in Gorgos. You're not going to use her in Penvid. You can use her in Aldry, but keep in mind she'll be fire probably for you. So I think Turin's better. And there is a use case for her in Tarask on certain teams. Not my teams, but certain teams. You can use her for Tarask, so she can be used there. Again, though, she's not going to shine there. So now let's start looking at the dungeons. So I'll show you. I do not have her in my Penvid team. You can, but you shouldn't have to. When you get to the higher levels, you're just going to be nuking them down between shield phases. So not good there. Gorgos, not good there. Frozen Plain, not good here either. Turin's better because she gives your whole team defense up. That's better. All the hots, more healing, better. Although, I almost guarantee you if I put in my Frost Gillien here, she would work just fine on Aldry 10 because she's AoE healing. But Fire Gillien might get nuked because Aldry 10 can actually dish out some damage. So you can use her. If you have Fire Gillien, you could probably get away with using her earlier on in Aldry. But since you already have Turin in Wind, there's really no reason to bring Gillien here. So, Shrine of Storms. Some people do use her here. I have heard of teams in Tarask 10. I've heard of people using Gillien Fire in place of Merlin. So, let's just show you, though. I use this team, and I can get it down in under a minute. Gillian's not going to make that. That's actually going to slow that down, I think. So, you can use her here instead of Merlin on this team. Keep in mind, you need a really fast Morgan to make that work. Otherwise, Bedivir's just going to get nuked. And Bedivir has to have a lot of hit accuracy and has to slap really hard, really quick. So, I do have a free-to-play team that doesn't include Gillien. So, again, she's okay for fights, but she doesn't shine in those fights. So, in all the dungeons, you won't use her here, you won't use her here. You can here, but it's not ideal. You can here, but it's not ideal. Now, in Forbidden Dungeon... Oh, we should talk about the equipment dungeons. Okay. Nest. No. No, you're not going to use her there either. You can, but you shouldn't. Origin of Apulia. Nope. You can. But, you know what? I actually might try replacing... I wouldn't use Fire in here for sure. Not in Fire in here. This is kind of like the Aldry fight. I might consider replacing her in this dungeon, or replacing Turin with Frost Gillien. But you don't have to. You don't have to. Like, well, what's my record here? 1:28. So since this boss is susceptible to turn meter or attack gauge manipulation, I think she might actually work well. So she can be used there, but I would put her in Frost, not Fire, which is going to limit the majority of you using her there. And then Fortress of Arcelis. There she is. Look at that. A Wind Dragon, a Fire Gillien. Would I use Frost? No, I don't think so. I don't think it really makes a difference. Although, yeah, it would, because it gives more attack gauge to my team. So I'm probably going to switch this out, but you can absolutely use Fire Gillien for there. Now, Forbidden Dungeon. I used Gillien on every fight except for, I do believe it was 97. Yes, 97. And I think that's the only one I didn't use Gillien on. 92 is the Shamans. I definitely used Gillien on the Shamans to control some turn meter. And I used Fire Gillien the whole way through. The whole way through. I completed it with Fire Gillien. So I would say that Fire Gillien is absolutely going to help you in this game mode, because with Fire Morgan and Fire Gillien, especially if you have her P1, P3 maxed and her C3, and if you have Fire Sergius, the 99% of this dungeon is never going to take a turn. It was actually kind of sad how easy it was this time. I beat 92 on my first try this time. I beat 100 in 3 resets due to Bedivere attack and the Heartbeat on his AoE at the beginning. But got it done, no difficulty. So Fire Gillien is an MVP in Forbidden Dungeon for sure. For sure. You're obviously going to use her in the Crow favor here. So yes, she's going to help you immensely in here to get to, I think I did. I have done level 10, and she is pivotal in this dungeon. So she shines here, kinda, for whatever day it's open. She is an MVP in Forbidden Dungeon. And then on these fights, you're going to use her as well. If you have her, you're going to use her. I was clearing Master and Crotch 10 way before and just as easily with Fire Gillien. And then obviously I switched to Ice once I got Ice. But if you have her, you're going to use her here. You are going to use her here. It's just the first phase of this, he can be attack gauge manipulated. And then Crotch can also be attack gauge manipulated. As you see, there she is right there. So let's go show you also, I would be remiss if I didn't say that you're going to use her everywhere in here as well. Everywhere in here you're going to use her. Everywhere. All right, let's just pull up a random one. Oh, not this. These levels suck. Let's pull up a random this guy. Let's pull up this guy. Okay. Let's do a random fight. Look, I already have her in my team. This is the team that I use. This team right here is really all you need for 90% of this game. That's it right here. Fire Sergius, Fire Morgan, Gillien, Fire or Ice, Bedivere. It's really a shame that you can do so much with just 4 units. And it's these 4 units that I have ranked highest, at the highest tier of my tier list in the spreadsheet linked in the description. These 4 units is all you need to just destroy the game. Every area of the game. So let's only do one. And let's start battle. So let's take it off of auto. Oh, it's already off of auto. So let's see if I can highlight Gillien. Okay, so let's watch. Let's watch. Bedivere's gonna go, of course. Don't kill him. Don't kill him. Close. Oh, yeah, he's dead. Okay, alright. Well, now there's only 2 enemies. And he gets to go again. Ugh. Don't. Oh, he's dead. No, he's not dead. Okay. Okay, Gillien. Here we go. Bedivere, man. Okay, so S2. Let's target the one with turn meter. So then remember, too, her S2 has a chance to heal your allies, which can increase her attack gauge. So I'm going to try to watch both attack gauges, because this is an attack, which is going to proc her P1, and a heal, which is going to proc her P3. So, oh, I should have attacked the other guy. So you see that? Oh, Morgan and Sergius got attack gauge, and I stripped attack gauge from the shark. Money. Absolutely money. So let's try not to kill this guy. Oh, fire Sergius. I kind of already did a deep dive on Sergius, but I'll do another one just so that it's more kind of like technical. Okay, so not a lot of attack gauge on either of them. And then if you look at my Bedivere and my Morgan and my Sergius, they're all around 75%. So this is a good gauge. These guys got about 10% each. These three are all at 75. So let's see what this one go does. So, boom. So you see, it absolutely stripped this guy's turn meter, and I do believe it did strip the shark, because now they have equal turn meter. And if you look at my team, the only one that really got the attack gauge increase was Morgan, but there was I didn't see if the other ones got heals. So again, I'm going to try not to kill them. I'm going to try not to Betty slap them. Oh, I got to use this. Okay, well, this is going to slow us down a little bit. Pitiful, Sergius, pitiful. Let's attack the big guy. Don't want to attack the little one. Oh, little one's dead. Okay. Alright, well, now it's not as effective. Whack, whack. Speed up. Let's do this one more time. Although you're not going to be able to see anything, because Morgan's the only one without... Well, Morgan and Sergius are the only ones without attack gauge. Without full attack gauge. So here we go. Let's do it. So this guy's sitting around 65%. So, boom. So the only person that got attack gauge on my side was Morgan, and I just barely stripped some attack gauge off of that guy. So I'd say that's a pretty good highlight of Gillien in action. You notice that during this video, in this testing, I never really discussed her healing at all. I didn't, because really the healing... That was in 20 turns? Okay, sure, cool. So I didn't discuss her healing at all, because really, Gillien, you shouldn't think of her as a healer, although she is. She's really a support. She's an attack gauge manipulator support character, which I've said multiple times in this video. So ladies and gentlemen, I think we're going to wrap it up right there. I've held you far too long today. I've probably repeated... Oh, and it's reset. Cool. Daily reset. Yay. I'm almost done my second month. I am on day 58. 58. Nice. Yeah. Now it's going to... Oh, give me some gold. Okay. Come on. Come on. Come on. Now you give me... Okay. All right. There we go. So ladies and gentlemen, that's going to be it for today. Gillien. I'm gonna keep these coming. I'm gonna keep rolling these out. So tell me what you think down in the comment section below. What should we do for a safe word of the day? I think I'm gonna keep it safe, and we'll just go Fae, since she is the kind of the queen of the Fae. So F-A-Y. Put that down in the comment section below. I'll know you made it right to the end of this video, and I will thank you profusely, and I will heart your comment. Check out all the links in the description. Again, if you need to refer back to how to gear or anything that we really discussed in this video is kind of going to be highlighted in her section in the master spreadsheet under Legendary Heroes. All the links in the description are good. Thank you to all the supporters that support me in the Netmarble Content Creator Program. Woo! That's a lot of words. All right. Till next time, ladies and gentlemen. Tell me what you think. And cheers, peace. Bye-bye.